Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. So if you fall into the more and more common scenario of individuals working past the age of 65, and you're coming off of a group health plan from that employment or your spouse's employment, then today is your lucky day because you get to fill out government form CMS L564. We're going to walk you through how to fill it out so you don't fall for any of the application's traps or gotchas. Stick around and we will walk you through the process step by step of how to fill out and submit this form. If you haven't done so already, you'll probably want to watch our previous videos on how to fill out Form CMS 40B, which is the application to enroll in Part B only. But if you're doing this during a special enrollment, or the SEP, the insurance industry loves acronyms, then you need both forms. So check out that video, which will be shown at the end of this video. Also, there's a link down in the description. So to qualify for a special enrollment period, you need to submit this application either while you are covered under the group plan based on your employment or your spouse's employment, or the 8 months following when that coverage has ended. If you miss this window and you enroll in Part B at a later time, you will be assessed a Part B late enrollment penalty. This penalty lasts forever. So both forms you need can be downloaded at ssa.gov/forms. There are also links down in the description. When we look at this form, notice that Section A is for the employee and Section B is for the employer. We're going to highlight a few areas where people fall prey to the gotchas of this application. Mistakes in these areas will ultimately lead to your Part B start date getting delayed. It is important to notice that this form needs to be filled out for each individual, even if you and your spouse are both enrolling at the same time and you both have coverage at the same employer. You need a separate one of these forms for each individual. Because as far as the government is concerned, why fill out one form when you could fill out two? So even if one of the spouses is a non-working spouse, there will still need to be two forms filled out. Taking the form step by step. Number 1 is the name of the employer who is providing the group health coverage. Number 2 is the date that this application is being completed. Number 3 is the address of the employer providing the group health coverage. 4 through 7 is where it starts to get treacherous. Number 4 is the name of the person who is applying for Part B. And number 5 is that person's social security number. Number 6 is the name of the person whose employer is providing the group health coverage. And number 7 is that person's social security number. In the case where the working spouse whose employer is providing the group coverage is filling out this form, their name and social security number would be in both number 4 and 5 and number 6 and 7. So in the case that this application is being filled out by a non-working spouse covered under their spouse's group health coverage, the non-working spouse's name and social would go in number 4 and 5, and the working spouse's name and social would go in number 6 and 7. To simplify, if both spouses are covered under the same group health plan and both are signing up for Medicare at the same time, you would hand in 2 of these forms, one of which would have the employed spouse's name and social in 4 through 7, and one of which would have the non-working spouse's name and social in number 4 and 5, and the working spouse's name and social in number 6 and 7. Section B has to be filled out by your employer, but it couldn't hurt to double check their work before you hand it in. The answer to number 1 has to be yes. or you don't qualify for a special enrollment period. Now, number 2 is a common source of errors for this application. This is the date the coverage originally started, not the open enrollment date of the most recent year of coverage. It doesn't hurt to help your HR along a bit and write in the space here, original insurance coverage start date through employer. That way they know they're not just talking about the current year, but they're talking about when you originally had coverage through this employer. Keep in mind, if since you turned 65, you had several jobs and had group health coverage through each of those jobs, you're going to need one of these forms for each of those employers. As long as there is an unbroken chain of coverage back to when you turned 65 with no more than an 8-month gap, you still qualify for an SEP. Number 3 asks, has the coverage ended? If yes, then number 4 should be filled out. If group coverage is still active, then the answer should be no. Number 4 is left blank, and an NA next to it couldn't hurt. Moving on to number 5, these are the dates that the employee worked with the company. The first field is when the employees started work with the company. If the employee has already left the company, this would be the date that the employment ended. If the employee is still employed, this month and year should be the month and year that this form is being filled out. So there will always be 2 of these being used. 6 is kind of a specialized situation. We're going to skip over that, as well as the hours bank arrangements section. If you do have questions about those, please feel free to leave a comment in the comments section, and I'd be happy to answer this for you individually. The signature section is for your employer. The signature, the date, signed, their title, and their phone number. If you're going to hand them in person, you will need the CMS Form 40B and the CMS L564. If you're going to fill it out online, the online application is sort of an abbreviated version of the Form 40B, so you don't technically need it. But if you've already filled it out, you can use it to help you fill out the online application. Once you have this form and the Form CMS 40B completed, you could submit these to Social Security to enroll in Part B without having to pay a late enrollment penalty. As of January 2025, you're not allowed to bring these in as a walk-in. You need an appointment, so make sure to schedule that before you go in. Navigating Medicare enrollment can seem complex, but that's why I'm here. Scott Fox, your insurance nerd. If you have any questions, drop a comment below, or better yet, reach out directly. Hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on any of my insurance tips. Thanks. Have a great day.